What's up, Andrew? It's y'all, aka Lil Raj, or Life of Lil Raj, back with another video for you guys today. Before we do get started in this video, I'd like to give a special thanks to every one of you, or every one of y'all, you all. Uh, I hit the 100 subscriber mark. It wouldn't have been possible with every one of y'all. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much. It means so much for me. I do have a special video planned out. I have to make sure to record first. Obviously, it's in the process of being made. I kind of have to write out the script a little bit and review before I go and complete the recording of the video. But with that being said, today we'll be doing a review of the American Airlines AirCal livery. So we have it both in the 1 to 400 scale as well as the 1 to 200 scale. So with that being said, before we prepare to take off, just a little checklist for you guys to review as usual. So make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're at 100. Let's see how much more we can grow to. And with that being said, guys, without further ado, let's prepare for takeoff. So we'll go ahead and start here with our 1 to 400 scale model. So here we have the American Airlines Boeing 737-800. So this is the AirCal livery. So it's kind of like a heritage or like a retail livery, one of the older airlines that got bought out and merged with what is currently American Airlines now. So looking at the front of the box here, we have our GeminiJets logo. Then we have the American Boeing 737 and the CGI printed on the box. As usual, we have here where it says the made by collectors, or made for collectors by collectors. And then below we have the Boeing 737-800. We also have the American Airlines here. And then here we have where it says 1 to 400 scale die-cast model aircraft. We have the look inside, since this is a flap. Moving to the back here, we have our normal GeminiJets information. So we have the GeminiJets logo up here. We also have our as real as it gets. So GeminiJets brings you the highest quality precision die-cast metal airliners and highly collectible limited editions with officially licensed markings. Registration mark packaging is personalized to each aircraft to enhance its collectible value. So this one is a little bit different from the normal boxing, but it also continues along with similar vocab and writing and such on its normal boxing. So basically high collectible, superior quality, realistic metal landing gear. And we also have here detailed printed graphics and, in quotations, as real as it gets, features. So here we have the American Airlines logo for the officially licensed product. Same with Boeing. This is made in China. And then here we have where it says new aircraft being added monthly. Please contact your dealer for the latest releases or visit our website. And here it has the website. So here it has www.geminijets.com. They also have a Facebook link provided here. So you can go to the Facebook page for GeminiJets. And like I mentioned earlier, so produced under license from Boeing Management Company, 737 and Boeing are among the trademarks owned by Boeing. American Airlines, the flight symbol and livery design are marks of American Airlines Incorporated and are used under license to GeminiJets. So this is a 2016 GeminiJets Las Vegas, Nevada, USA copyright type for all the different rights. And then we can move along to the other sides of the box. So looking at the top of the box here, our GeminiJets logo, adult collector model, and then we have our warning. So contains small parts not suitable for children under 14 years of age. Then we have here the barcode with item number for scanning purposes. Looking at the left side, so we have the GeminiJets, and then we have the CGI printed of the aircraft along with the information. So the Boeing 737-800, the 1 to 400 scale die-cast model, and then the item number here. So the item number is basically GJAAL1515. Looking at the bottom here, basically kind of repeats the similar jargon and vocab. So we have our logo at the left side, and then on the right, where it's highly collectible, superior quality, and all the stuff I repeated earlier in the video. Looking at the right side of the box here is basically the same as the left side. So now I'll put up the flap here, so we have a great detail or a great amount of information here. It's a little bit difficult to see on the camera, so I will go ahead and read out for you guys. So here it's the Boeing 737-800. So in the early 1990s, Boeing worked on designing an aircraft that would replace older models of its popular 737 jetliner. On the 29th of June 1993, Boeing launched the 737-X program after receiving an order from Southwest Airlines for 63 copies. This program resulted in the 737 Next Generation, basically the 737NG family of aircraft, and would include 4 different variants: the 600, the 700, the 800, and the 900. The Next Generation 737s incorporate a larger wing, more powerful engines, and are capable of flying longer range routes with higher payloads than the older 737 models. The 737-700 was the first variant to enter production, and the first delivery was made to Southwest Airlines in December 1997. On the 5th September 1994, the 800 was launched, and the first aircraft was delivered to Hapag-Lloyd of Germany in spring of 1998. The 800 is a longer version of the 700 and can carry up to 189 passengers in single class. SAS became the launch customer of the 737-600, the smallest of the Next Generation family, with a seating of 110 to 132 passengers. The first aircraft was delivered and launched on the 10th of November in 1997 with an order from Alaska Airlines. Boeing has also introduced the 737-900ER, which offers greater range with a higher payload capacity. Today, many of the Next Generation 737s incorporate blended winglets, which help to increase lift, reduce drag, and reduce fuel consumption and engine wear. So looking at the rest of the flap here, we have some great detail here within the design of the underneath of the flaps with like different instruments, measurements, and such. So here we can see the Boeing 737-800 for this American Airlines AirCal delivery and aircraft. So the length here is very small to read, so and see for you guys, so I'll read it out. So it says that the length is 129.6 meters. Looking on the right side here where it shows the wingspan, so the wingspan is 117.5 meters. So some more details in the middle here. You can see the livery is American Airlines. The aircraft type is a Boeing 737-823W. The construction number is 29572. The line number is 4341. The registration here is November 917 November. So there are 2 engines. They are the CFM 56 engines, and those engines are the CFM 56-71324E. And then the first flight for this aircraft was the 29th of January 2013. The delivery date was the 14th of February 2013. So empty weight, this aircraft is shown as probably like 9,710 pounds, and then the cruising speed is 550 miles per hour, and then the range is about 3,060 miles, and then here the seating is 162 with a mixed class, or 189 for a high density loading and seating. Below here, there's another promotion basically where it tells you to visit their website. So visit our website for new releases at www.GeminiJets.com. So now we'll go ahead and get into unboxing this aircraft here. We have our model here. Super excited. I waited a long time to get this in the mail, and then an even more longer time to go ahead and record this video for you guys. So let's head and go ahead and get into the review. But before we do that, I forgot to mention earlier in the video, I've been fortunate enough to be at the airport when this aircraft has actually, like the actual aircraft has been at the airport, so I got a few pictures on my phone whenever I was riding the Skylink and walking the terminals for my job, so I'll put those in. Hopefully you guys can enjoy it. I apologize, they were all mainly on my iPhone, so no high quality pictures like my Sony does, but I was pretty close, so I feel like the pictures are good enough for your guys' enjoyment. With that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll start here, the front of the left side of the aircraft. So we have our cockpit windows, and below the cockpit windows we have our T-trips for the AirCal livery. Below that we have the nose gear, and you can see the doors for the nose gear. We have the registration number and such, so this aircraft is a little bit small, so those numbers are difficult to read with the eye as well as like focus on the camera. So I'll see if it will focus a little bit, and maybe you guys can pause the video and see if you can read the numbers. But moving along, next up we have our L1 doors, and then after that we have where we have the American logo and then the AirCal T-traps going along. So that this is kind of like a yellowish orange color, and then it goes into like violet purple, and then an even darker purple as we go along. Moving along, next we have the engines. So there's pretty good detail here with the engines, and then looking at the wings, there's very good detail with the markings and such. So you can see here for the exits, the arrows on the wings are marked pretty clearly. You can also see the markings on the wings are very good, very visible, but it is extremely difficult to see, or it's not very visible, like the additional detail, like the brakes and such, like indentations on the aircraft. So I'll zoom out, maybe the camera will focus better, but it's almost impossible to see. I don't think there is really, well, there are basically like indentations, but you can't see them unless you're like looking at the aircraft super close and like the light can shine on those indentations. But the markings that are painted on are very clear and very easy to see. So like I mentioned, over the wing we got the cheat lines, and then we have the two exit doors on the wings, and then moving towards the rear of the aircraft here we got our last door on the left side, the exit door. We also have the US flag, and we have our registration. So apologies for the blurriness, my iPhone camera, when it's still active up today, doesn't want to focus. It's being a little B word, but I'll move the plane closer to you guys for you to see. So like I was mentioning earlier, you can see the US flag, and then you have the registration. So the registration here is November 917 November. And looking at the back, you got some good detail here with the exit door right before the horizontal stabilizers. Then looking at the horizontal stabilizers and the tail, nothing really much painted on. There's some indentations for the instruments and such, different tools on the horizontal stabilizers, but you can't see them unless you like look closely at the model. Moving to the right side, there's decent detail painted on as well. It's almost similar. You got your different instruments on the right side, so you can see like at the back behind the door, the exit door. And then you can see the cargo hatches, and the cargo hatches at the front. And then you got also your detail, similar detail with the registration and such. So we can go ahead and look at the front and basically the top of the aircraft. So you can see there's decent detail in the front. With the cockpit windows, you can see there's like the wipers as well, details of the nose, and then looking at the top towards the roof of the aircraft here, we have a few antennas that do stick out, so there's at least 2 that stick out here. So we got one here and one at the back, and we have a little red dot for the light, and that doesn't really stick out. Yeah, it's more like it's painted on. But yeah, that's still a pretty good model in my opinion. And if we take a look at the bottom of the aircraft, there's some mostly painted on detail, which is decent. And then we have a few antennas as well that stick out as well. So you can have, like, here also there's a bump here for the part in case of a tail strike on the aircraft. That little bump that sticks out, and that's included in this model as well. You got a hole for a stand, and then you got your GeminiJets logo, and the rest of the details are basically part of different instruments and labelings of the aircraft. And then you got decent landing gears as well. So with that being said, I'll let you guys get a view from all sides of the aircraft now. So here we have it from the left side. And then we have it from the front. And we have it from the right side. And then we have it from the back. So next up we have our 1 to 200 scale. So it's basically the same aircraft, but a lot bigger size. Like the joke I like to make, me versus the guy she tells me not to worry about. But after my inappropriate jokes are done here, we'll go ahead and look at the front of the box here. So this model is slightly different though. This one is a flaps down version. Whenever I did the 1 to 400 scale model, that one wasn't a flaps down version. But looking at the box, so we got our Gemini 200 here, and then we have our flaps down icon here at the top right. And then we have the American Airlines logo across the banner, across the front of the box. And then we have the CGI printed version on this box as well, though this one looks in a lot more nicer quality compared to our 1 to 400 scale model. You can also see here where it says Boeing 737-800. So I know the lighting isn't the best, but it's in gold. It's a little bit difficult to see with the dark table. And then below that, we have here where it says 1 to 200 die-cast model aircraft, and then it gives the item number. So this item number is G2AAL474F. So if we look at the back of the box, it's pretty much the same thing with your licensing and promotional jargon that Gemini likes to include in their models. I'll let you guys get a brief view of what it says here. You can pause the video and look if you really need to. It's pretty much the same. And then the only difference here is where this box here, they include all their websites and social media. So it's GeminiJets.com, then they have their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So it's a little bit outdated now since it's Twitter and not X. So that might not be fully correct for nowadays, present day 2023. And then another difference between this model and the 1 to 400 model is this one is a 2021 copyright versus the other one, which was a 2016 copyright. So you can look at the top of the box here. So we have the Gemini 200, and then here we have basically the choking hazard as well, and then the item barcode, item number, and such. The left side here, Gemini 200, it mentions this in the 1 to 200 die-cast model, and then it's the item number as well, and then flaps down, the CGI print, and the Boeing 737-800. And then on the right side is the same as the left side. Looking at the bottom here, so it just basically says the Gemini 200, but this is where the quality of the box comes in, and where I think Gemini like goes out above and beyond in this type of boxing and quality, such as you can see, like it snaps open, which is really cool. And we can open up the box, and then we have this beautiful packaging on the inside. So like I mentioned, I really like the boxing for this type of model. I will say though, I'm not a fan of the stand. If you have watched my previous 1 to 200 models for the Boeing 737s by GeminiJets, I'm not a fan of this type of stand. These stands are not as high quality as the other ones I've reviewed on my channel, so I won't include the stand or put the stand together for this video. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and get into the model here. So we have here, looking in the box, we have our parts here. So this is for the, I believe, the gear down. Yeah, it's basically the gear down setting. And then we have the model here as well. So it comes in this beautiful styrofoam type setting. It sits nicely, got this nice plastic wrapped around it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheels together, or put it on this model, so it can be in the gear down configuration, and then I will review the model for you guys. So here we have the model, the 1 to 200 American AirCal livery in the gear down configuration. This model is also in the flaps down version, so usually when it comes to 1 to 200 models, especially with their 737-800s or just their 737s in general, you can find a normal version and then they have a flaps down version. So the flaps down version are a little bit different since they have more design detail in the wing. I'll show you when I go through the model, but they are usually a little bit more expensive whenever they're compared to their regular version versus like flaps down. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and look at the front of the model. So starting on the left side here, go ahead and zoom in, and we got good detail here, starting with the nose and the cockpit windows. So we have detail of the nose gear, and then we have the doors for like the nose gear basically. So I'll bring it up a little bit closer so I can read it off for you guys. So here it basically says the 73-8, and then it says 3KC behind that. I know this camera doesn't like focusing on, it's something to do with the iPhone camera software, whereas like I guess it switches between cameras or something, so it kind of glitches out on where it wants to focus, and yeah, basically focus on. Then moving along, we have our L1 door, and then we have our American logo, and then the wings here we have the cheat lines. So like before, you can see like that yellow cheat line at the top, and then we have orange below that, then a light magenta looking purple, light purple color, and then a dark purple below that. So I will say, compared to the 1 to 400 and the 1 to 200 we have here, the lines and the colors of the cheat lines are a lot easier and visible to see compared to the 1 to 400. And then here we have the engines and the wings. So the camera doesn't want to focus, of course, but there's good detail there. And looking at the wings, you can see we have 2 exits over the wings. Good detail on the wings here, where the markings and such of all the different sections of the wings are. You can also see like the arrows in case of emergency for passengers to exit off of. We also here, you can see like how the flaps are down in this version. So looking at the aircraft as well and the different parts of the wings, at the camera focus, there's good indentations. It's still a bit difficult to see due to the bright white paint color, but you can see the indentations a lot better compared to the 1:400 scale. But like I mentioned here, the flaps down version, I'll go ahead and grab the other 737 I have. So here I know it's different airlines and slightly different setup with the scrimtars and such, but this is a 737-800 for Southwest Airlines in the Freedom 1 livery that I reviewed before. And you can see the wings. This is like the normal configuration where the flaps are up. So this is how the wings would look with the flaps up. And then this is how they look with the flaps down. Anyways, going back to focusing on this model here, we can move along past the wings. So you can see the cheat stripes marked super clearly. And then we have the US flag, and the camera wants to go out of focus, which makes me want to punch a wall or throw the phone off my balcony. Oh my god, it keeps doing it. Alright, we'll stay in this and hopefully it doesn't zoom in or zoom out, but basically the US flag, like I mentioned earlier, the registration, so the same as before, November 917, November. And then we have our L4 door back here. And then you can see the tail where it says AirCal, and then we got the cheat stripes that go up into the tail. So these are some interesting colors. I'm looking at the horizontal stabilizers, so there's not too much detail here. You can see there's very little markings or stuff to mark there. There's indentations, but they're also very hard to see due to the color of the paint. The white paint is very bright, so it kind of hides the indentations, but I feel like these are more visible in the 1:200 for the indentations versus the 1:400 scale. So looking at the right side, there's not too much additional detail here. For this one here, the cargo doors are difficult to see, kind of, or not too difficult, and the camera looks better versus looking at it in person. But it's also probably because the camera is zoomed in. But like the cargo hatch doors are not as easily visible. I don't know why they're not as thick. Because like on the 1:400 they're a lot more easier. I guess like the outline of the doors is more visible in the 1:400 compared to this 1:200, but then also it could be that this is more realistic in terms of visibility of the outlines of the aircraft. So moving on to the front of the aircraft here. So we got good detail here, so if the camera will focus, you can see the cockpit windows, good detail, the colors on the nose, details on the nose, the windshield wipers for the cockpit windows, and then going along the top of the aircraft here, so we have some decent detail here. So like the red light up here sticks out and is like actually stuck on. There's two antennas that stick out, and then we have the Wi-Fi box that sticks out as well. So on the 1:400 we didn't have a Wi-Fi box that stuck out, but we did have two antennas at the top. So I'll show you from the side perspective. Bring the plane a little bit closer, you can see where the red dot gem looking thing sticks out as the light, and then you have your two antennas that stick out in the Wi-Fi box. We can go ahead and flip the aircraft over here. So decent detail here. There are definitely a lot more antennas that stick out here. So we'll start at the back of the aircraft here. We got our little section that sticks out for tail strikes. We got one antenna that sticks out here. And then we have more details of the different instruments and such on the bottom of the aircraft. And we have another antenna that sticks out. Then we have our GeminiJets logo, which is kind of tiny, but you can see it on the camera pretty easily. Then we have our landing gears. So this aircraft model does come in two configurations, gear up as well as gear down. So these gears are not magnetic, or at least the main landing gears are not magnetic. They're kind of like rubberized, or you can stick them in and then they kind of fit snugly in there, but they're not magnetic like the bigger models for GeminiJets. Move along here, you have a hole for the stand and then additional details for the aircraft that are painted on. We do have another antenna that sticks out, so it's right around the area where the cargo hatch doors is. And then moving along, we have the nose gear. So the nose gear one is magnetic, where it kind of sticks in there. And then we have detail here where it says that 73-8. So I'll show you here. You notice in the plastic bag it might be a little bit difficult to see. And we have the landing configuration, so you can see in the middle where it looks with the nose gear up or the gears up configuration. Detail with the numbers, and basically kind of looks like the doors closed, covering up the nose gear. And then you can also see the main landing gears, basically like the wheels in the folded up position. So with that being said, I'll let you guys see the model from all views now. So starting with the left side here. Then from the back of the aircraft. And then we have it from the right side of the aircraft. And then we have from the front of the aircraft. So now we'll start to wrap up the video. So here we have the models side by side. They kind of look the similar size now, so I'll kind of put them one behind the other. But basically you can see now size difference. So like the joke I like to make, me versus the guy she tells me not to worry about. You can see the size differences between the 1 to 400 scale model over here and then the 1 to 200 scale model. That both models are good. Glad I could add them to my collection. So with that being said, guys, I'd like to thank you all for subscribing, commenting, watching my videos. I go and look at the statistics and I see like all the likes and views, and to see it slowly growing, as well as the number of subscribers. And I appreciate every one of you guys, or all of y'all, as like I like to say, as I'm from Texas.
Texas, Texas! In Texas, 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 Texas!
But once again, guys, thank you so much. It means so much to me. I'm planning on a 100 subscribers special. And with that being said, guys, make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It means so much to me. 100 is an achievement that I'm proud of. I'm grateful to you guys, and I'm hoping to grow. Let's double that. Let's try to aim for 1,000 next is our goal. And with that being said, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.